Recording in progress.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corey, and I work for Yodel Community Connections. We are an organization out of Columbus, Ohio, and we have recently partnered with the Jay County Development Corporation office to bring to life this new community calendar. We actually just earlier this week spent some time, 7 different presentations. We met with over 60 people and organizations throughout Jay County to introduce what this new tool is going to be, but most importantly, how it's going to benefit your organization. So for those of you who couldn't make it to the in-person sessions, we wanted to make this recording for you so that you can see all of the information about what is coming, how it's going to benefit you and your events. And for those who just haven't heard about it yet, hopefully you're watching this webinar today and can get some really valuable information and leave feeling very excited about what the Economic Development Office is bringing to your community. So we're really excited to be working with Jay County. I've got a presentation for you today to just share all the info of how this is going to benefit you. So bear with me for just a moment and we will get started. There we go. So like I said, this is for all of Jay County. Travis Richards and I have been working very closely together to get this started, to connect with over 100 organizations in the county. We've already connected with 60 of those, which is super exciting. And you are a part of that. That's why you're watching this webinar today. So first question that I want to answer for you is, what is Yodel bringing to Jay County? So this is going to be an all-inclusive, one-stop shop website for all events in your community. It's also a free tool for you. So this is sponsored and paid for by the Economic Development Office of Jay County, and it is free to you as an organization to promote your events, whether they be big or small. And one thing I want to point out here, when I say events, I say that pretty loosely. So we don't just mean the fair and the Winterfest that you guys have going on in Jay County. We mean the local basketball game at the school district, or the Little League, or the Kiwanis Club, or whatever it may be. All the small and big things that are just happening and bringing people together in Jay County, we want them to be able to be found on this new community calendar, truly making it all inclusive. So it's also an opportunity to bring more engagement to your upcoming events. If we can have community members aware and knowing that there is this one place to go to find everything, it's going to bring more awareness to what you have going on throughout the community. It can be a time saver for you. And I'm going to talk much more about that here shortly, about the different features within the calendar that allow to save you time. And then for community members, who most of you probably are, it can simplify your life as far as finding fun things to do with your friends and family, making it easy to just go to one place to know about everything going on in Jay County. So I do want to take a moment here to really just take a step back and talk about why we at Yodel do this. So we believe that there are forces that are just pulling people away from local events and activities that you are putting on. And whether that be streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, Facebook, social media networks, their business model is meant to keep us online, scrolling, indoors, away from our communities. So not that these aren't great, we all use them on a regular basis, myself included. Sorry about my phone going off. We all use this on a regular basis, and it disconnects us from our community. So it honestly can just make us unaware of what's going on right next door or right in our very own town. And then not only that, but search engines make it really difficult for the little guy. So those big pocketed organizations, they're going to the top just because they're paying for it. So if people are searching for events in Portland or Jay County, Pennville, whatever it may be, it might pull you to the nearest big city versus showing you all the things that are happening in your very own community. So for an example, I live in a town called Sunbury, Ohio, which is about 20-30 minutes north of Columbus. And every time I go to Google to search for something to do, like live music, for example, it wants to pull me to downtown Columbus automatically. And I know there's local bars and restaurants and patios that have live music in Sunbury, but Google and other social media networks make it really hard for me to find those things and make it challenging to look for. So that's a big problem for community members. But what about things that you struggle with just getting people to come to your events or getting them aware of your events, most importantly? So one of those struggles, repeating what we said in the last slide, Facebook. We came across some research, even just within the last couple of weeks, that showed that only 5%, every 1 in 19 of your Facebook followers actually see the posts that you're putting out. So you spent all of this time getting maybe even thousands of people liking your Facebook page, following your Facebook page. And the way that the algorithm of Facebook is now, only 5% of those people are actually seeing the content you're putting out there. So Facebook makes it really hard to reach the people that actually want to see your events. And also, if you use Facebook for analytics, sometimes their analytics can be a little vague. What does that statistic mean? Did they really see my event, or did they just quickly scroll past it? So they can give you some funky analytics as well that are just hard to track, hard to know. The World Wide Web makes it really difficult. I just mentioned a little bit earlier, there are over 100 organizations in Jay County that we want to be included on this calendar. And picture yourself as a community member looking for an event. You're not going to go to 120 plus websites to find something to do. That's just not feasible. People don't have the time. People don't even think to do that. So not that you shouldn't post your events on your website. You absolutely should. The only downside is it just requires people to visit your website. And again, people aren't visiting every single organization's website. So some people are just unaware of what everything is going on in the community. Also, you're paying for advertisements. You're putting up printed ads. You're putting ads in the radio, the newspaper, etc. That does require people to come across them. But the downside is they can't easily get that event onto their calendar. So if they're driving down the street, they see your awesome billboard and they're like, oh, that event sounds really fun, but something else crosses their mind. They might forget about it. And then the event's passed and they're like, shoot, I really wanted to go to that. I can't believe I missed it. So you might have experienced something like that yourself. You're also not getting those analytics back from those printed ads. So it's hard to tell if what that ROI is on the advertisements that you're putting out there. So those are some struggles that we're hearing from organizations we're working with. We've partnered with 15 different communities, most of which are in Ohio. We've got a couple in Indiana, including yours, and hundreds of organizations that we've connected with. And they're all saying these similar things of what they're struggling with. And sometimes the result can be crickets. And these are grasshoppers. So I couldn't find a crickets graphic, but close enough. And I don't want to say that your events are actually truly crickets. We know that you're getting people to your events. There are people coming, but we know that there's that want for more awareness and more attendance. And we want this tool to be something that can help provide that. So we want to not only do that, but we also want to eliminate some of the struggles that you might be currently having with event promotion. So that's our mission. We want to help communities like Jay County become more prosperous, more vibrant by increasing participation in local activities. And here's how we do that. So again, it's a web-based platform. It's just a website that community members can go to see everything going on in the community. They can get your events on their personal calendars with one click of a button, making it super easy to not forget about any events going on that they want to go to. We also use AI or artificial intelligence to help people know about events based on their interests. So we'll start suggesting your events to people based on their other activity that they've had on the calendar. We also provide tools to you as a business, as an organization, to help drive your attendance. And I'm going to talk about that in much more detail here shortly. But the ultimate goal, and I know especially in Jay County, I got so many head nods in our in-person presentations here, is keeping that small town feel, keeping those connections that you guys feel so strongly about, and we do as well. We want to keep that. We want that to thrive. We want that to become even more vibrant by bringing more awareness, more participation, ultimately, to the activities and events that you are putting on and putting so much effort into. So that's what we do. We bring everything in the community into the community calendar. And as you can see, it's literally everything. Like I said before, it's not just the big community events like the fair, the Winterfest, the tractor show that we talked about. A lot of people already know about those things. They happen every year, etc. This is also for the little things that are happening in the community, the live music or the trivia night that's happening at the local brewery, the nonprofit food drive that they're hosting this weekend, the Optimist Club that's having an event next Saturday, the swim lessons, the basketball games, everything you can think of happening in the community, all in one place, so that community members just have one place to go to find everything. So one question as we're going through this that you're probably wondering is, how do we get all of these events on the calendar? So there's actually 3 different ways that we can do this, and we call it event curation. And I wanted to put it in this little graph for you guys to kind of represent what percentage of organizations are going to do which of these 3 things to get their events on the calendar. So I want to start with this first one in orange, which is scraping. So that's a technology that we have built for our system, where essentially we can set that technology up on an organization's website who has an events page. They've got a modern website that their events are in a very consistent format for our technology to read. And then it'll take those events and represent them on the community calendar for you. So there's going to be a small percentage of you that we can just scrape your website to get your events on the community calendar. Super easy. Next is a linkable calendar. So some of you might use a Google Calendar to track your upcoming events, or Outlook, or Apple, or maybe your website has a digital calendar within it somehow. There's a good chance that we can link up to that calendar to automatically pull those events in for you. So then every time you update the calendar that you're already using, the community calendar updates right along with it. So there's going to be some of you who we can just link to the current calendar you're using, which again is a huge time saver for you. And then there's going to be probably a lot of you who just manually input your events through the system. And some of you may just prefer to do it that way. So that's, again, super easy to do. You can do recurring events if you have things that happen every week, every day, every month, whatever it may be, and you'll have full control over what those events look like, how they're displayed on the calendar, and then have other features within your account as well that'll benefit you. So those are the 3 different ways that we can get events onto the calendar. For those of you who are watching this today, there's a good chance that we've already done some research on your organization to determine which of these 3 buckets you're probably going to fall into. So when you and I connect after you've watched this webinar, we'll have a conversation about what's the best way for you and your organization to get your events onto the calendar. So now that we've gone into all the nitty gritty of how this thing is started and how we get the content on there, I want to dive into how this thing works. So I want to show you the mobile version of this website. Again, it is a website. It is not an app at the moment. We do have plans for it to become an app in late 2023. But at the moment, it's just a website that people can visit on their phone, on their laptop, computer, whatever it may be. So this is the calendar that we have launched right now. It's Zanesville and Muskingum County in Ohio. And when they come to the calendar, they're going to land on a page that looks just like this, that just gives them 3 options to go to. So if they want to go to the events page, this is where they get that calendar view of everything going on in the community. And as you can see, there's a ton of stuff going on. So this was everything happening on October 3rd in Zanesville, which is super, super awesome. But if somebody doesn't want to see everything, that's a little overwhelming, they can filter it down based on what they're interested in. So they can select any category that we have in the system. So I'm interested in nonprofits and charity events. So if I click on that, it's going to break it down to just those types of events. And I can select any day of the week that I want to see what's going on, or get the event on my calendar just by clicking that button there on the right-hand side. But another page that a user might visit is what we call the schedules page. And I do want to take a moment here to explain briefly what a schedule is. So schedules on the community calendar are a way for you as an organization to categorize out your events. So a library, for example, they'll probably have a schedule for their adult events. They'll probably have a schedule for their youth events. They might have one for special events, etc. So it's a way for you not only to categorize out your different types of events if you have, hundreds throughout the year, but also for the benefit of the user, they can favorite, or you can call it following, an organization's schedule and only get notified about the events that they're interested in. So with that library example, I'm an adult with no kids. I'm just going to favorite that adult schedule, and then I'm not going to get notified about the kids events that I'm not interested in. So it's a great way for you to reach the right people and for users to just really peg down what they're interested in knowing more about. So when they come to the schedules page, this is where they can find schedules throughout the community to add to their favorites. And as you can see, all of my favorites are there at the top, but I can scroll down through the different categories to find other schedules to favorite. I love music and entertainment. Looks like there's a concert schedule at the Museum of Art. And this is where I can click on it to find more information about this organization, go to their website, or just see their upcoming events. And just by clicking that button right there, I've added it to my personal calendar where it belongs, where I won't forget about it. So pretty cool there. And then the last, or one of the last pages I want to show you is this organizations page. And this is where users can go to find all the different organizations that are on the calendar. And they're listed out in a card view. And this is the only page where it is categorized like this, but every organization is on here based on how many favorites they have. So the one with the most favorites is going to be at the top. But when I find the organization I'm interested in, I can click on it to see a list of their different schedules. And then if there's a schedule that catches my eye, again, I can go there for more info, check out their upcoming events, or just add that schedule to my favorites so that I know when they add new events or when they make any changes. And the very last page that I want to show you guys here is what we call the organization's landing page. So when we launch this calendar out in Jay County, you don't have to tell people in the community, hey, go search for me on the community calendar. You can take them to your specific page, your schedules, and your events just through the link that we create for you. So you'll have your very own URL, your very own QR code that you can use as promotional material to drive community members to a page just like this with a list of your schedules where they can easily favorite you or check out your events or add them to their calendar. So that's a great benefit as well. So with that being said, as we move forward for the remainder of this webinar, I really want to hone in on that favoriting tool. And that's what's going to be the bread and butter for you as an event creator on this calendar. So why I say that is because when a user favorites one of your schedules, Yodel is going to promote your events for you. So a favoriter of yours is going to get notifications every time you add a new event. Every time you make a change, let's say there's a time change or a location change, every week, they're going to get notifications and emails about you promoting your events for you. You don't have to do a thing. So here's an example of what a user might get. They'll get a daily email with a snapshot of here's what's happening on the calendar today. But then they're also going to get a list of all the things happening on their favorite schedule. So really highlighting your event. They can click on that to go back to the calendar, to add that event to their calendar, get more information, etc. So that's just one example of the communication that we send out to those users who favorite you. So I want to put it into a little bit of a perspective for you guys. So let's just imagine the scenario. You have 1,000 people in Jay County that have favorited your schedule. So what that means is there's 1,000 daily event promotions that happen for you. There's also 1,000 notifications about any new events or changes that you make to your schedules on the calendar. But then there's also that opportunity for more. So this is going back to that artificial intelligence, that AI piece that I mentioned before, where we're suggesting your schedules and your events to users based on other things that they're interested in. So not only are we communicating to the people who have already favorited you, the system's working to try to get more people favoriting you as well. But along with that, I also want to bring in that potential fiscal opportunity for you as well. So you're a business, whether you're a nonprofit, and Either way, you want to see some money coming into your organization. Absolutely. And we want to support not only that, but the local commerce throughout the entire county. So let's just take this scenario and imagine that just 5% of these favoriters, so 50 people, come to an event of yours because they favorited you and maybe they wouldn't have otherwise known about it if not. Let's say they spend 20 bucks at your event. They bought a ticket, they made a donation, they went to the concession stand. That's $1,000 into your organization. And imagine if 10% or 20% of those people favoriting you come to an event that they wouldn't have necessarily gone to had they not known about it before. So there's that opportunity for commerce to come from this tool that's coming to your community, which we're really excited about. And, even another scenario along with this is maybe they're coming to your event and maybe it doesn't cost any money. They don't have to spend anything, but they're going to go to dinner before and they're going to spend money in the community, or they're going to go to the local thrift store or some sort of shop in town and spend money while they're in town for your event. So not only is there opportunity for your organization to bring in some additional dollars, but just for the entire local economy, this can really boost that opportunity as well. So we're very excited about that piece too. But I also want to point out, what are some things that you're going to get as being a part of this? So within your account, you're going to have an account on the community calendar, and you're going to get data and analytics behind your events on here. So you're going to see how many people are viewing your events and schedules, how many people are favoriting you, etc. And then you'll also be able to use this as a way to check for conflicts. So you can use your account to see what else is going on in the community and then see, is that a good day for me to host my event? Or should I pick another day because there's some conflicting things happening on the day I wanted to do it? So that's another great way to use this tool. Again, you get your very own landing page that will take users straight to your schedules and events on the calendar. You also get the ability to export events from Yodle to your website. So that's another time-saving opportunity for you as well. And then we also have the ability to automatically post events from Yodle to your Facebook page. So you can link up to your Facebook and it'll automatically create this post for you every time you put a new event into Yodle, which is super cool. So here's an example of what that would look like on your Facebook page. You can see it's a link right back to Yodle where they can find more information, add it to their calendar, etc. So again, we'll save you time if you're wanting to still post things out to your Facebook page. And then not only do you get those features, but after you watch this webinar, after you get your events on the calendar, you still have that tie with us here at Yodle. So we want to work to make your experience successful. So I've connected with hundreds of organizations throughout all of our communities to help get them as many favorites as possible. So I can set up one-on-one Zoom calls or phone calls, texting, email, whatever communication you need from us to help make your experience better or just be a support system for you. We are here to do that. But then also we create promotional material for you as well. So after you create your account, we do have a library of social media content that we create for you. So if you don't have time to create your own, we've got a library ready for you to go and share this out to your current constituents to get them to favorite you. We can provide email material, postcard and poster design to help you promote this out to people and encourage them to favorite you. So here's some examples of what we've done for a community up near Cleveland, Ohio, of social media content. So again, you'll get a library of content just like this. If for any reason you don't receive this, please reach out to us so that I can send this to you. But as you can see, all of these posts are about favoriting. So we create a library to help you encourage that with your current followers. But let's say you want to hang up some posters or something, or hand out postcards, whatever it may be in your business, but you just don't have the time to design that. Reach out to us. We can design that for you. This is an example of what we designed for a library in Defiance, Ohio. They wanted to hang up some posters around the building. So we created a couple options for them with their QR code. And then if someone scans that, they're going to go straight to the library schedules where they can favorite them, etc. So don't hesitate to connect with us so that we can make this a simple process as you're promoting and spreading the word about this tool. Not only do you get support from us, from just features within the account, but this is a community effort. So we are calling on not only Yodel, the Economic Development Office, but all of the organizations that are going to be participating in this to spread the word and support this and let community members know what this is and why it's going to benefit them too. So we're calling this the network of support. And one way that all of you can participate in this is simply by putting a link to the calendar on your website. If you have a website, I know some of you may not, but if you have a website out there in the World Wide Web, putting a link to the calendar on your website is going to do such a tremendous job in helping share this out to community members. And here's why. So let's say just one organization puts a link to the calendar on their website. Think of that as just one door to the calendar. But then let's say the neighboring organization does the same thing. There's a second door. But that not only is that door pointing to that second organization's events, but it's also pointing back to that first one. And then as you can imagine, if all 120 plus organizations that are going to be on this calendar put a link to the calendar on their website, that's 120 doors to your events. So not only is it just helping the community and spreading the word, but it's also more promotion for you and what you have going on. More eyes on the calendar means more eyes on your events. So not only that, it helps with SEO. So search engine optimization, the more links that are out there throughout the web, the better that Google is going to rank it. So if someone's searching for events in Jay County, we want this community calendar to come to the top. And this is a way that will really, really benefit that effort. So not only that, but again, that social media, spreading the word of mouth, just letting people know in your life that, hey, there's this tool out there for our community members to find everything going on in the county and favorite us, favorite other organizations, etc. So we're calling on all of you and the whole community to spread the word about this. We also, of course, have promotional plans in place with the Economic Development Office, such as social media, schedules, printed material, radio ads, press releases, etc., all planned out, but we're again calling on you to help support that and spread the word about this tool as well. So I'm not going to read all of these verbatim. We've been talking about this entire time you've been listening to this webinar, but I really just want to reiterate that this is free and it can be a really great tool to an opportunity to increase awareness, attendance, and potentially even bring more dollars into your organization. So we're really excited to have you be a part of this. I know I can speak for Travis and the entire Economic Development Office when I say that we are so excited to have you be a part of this and want this to be a really great tool for you and your business and your events. So please don't hesitate to reach out with questions. I'm going to show my email address here in just a moment so you have it. And we really want to get this started right away. So I want to let you know what's next. If you are watching this before January 16th, we are calling on all the organizations to get on the calendar, create an account, and start getting favorites. And we're actually going to be offering up something for you in return. So if you have 50 people favoriting your schedules on the calendar by January 16th, you are going to receive a check from Yodel for $100. And then for every additional favorite, you'll get an additional $1. So it's capped out at $300. That's the most that you can get. But hey, that's cash coming into your organization that we're willing to provide for your efforts in spreading the word, getting activity on the calendar before we even officially launch on January 16th. So there are some conditions, of course, in order to participate. If you do have a website, you must have a link to the calendar on your website in order to qualify for this money. Only confirmed accounts are going to count. So the Yodel system will be able to flag fake email addresses. So if you're thinking of doing anything crazy, nice try. And then lastly, schedules just have to be created correctly. So again, you're going to have contact with us. So if you ever have questions or concerns that maybe they weren't created correctly, which We doubt that that's going to happen. Just reach out to us. I want you to get this money. I want you to spread the word and get as many people using this as possible. So we're here to help participate in that and help you do that. So be on the lookout. This was for those organizations who came to the in-person one, but you'll get an email from me. This is my email address with how to get your events on the calendar, short help videos on how to get started. I'm going to send you a written document of the conditions for that favoriting competition. I'm going to give you access to social media content that you can share out, and then also tips on how to get favorites, how to get people favoriting you. So for those of you who are just watching this webinar, send me an email. This is the email address. Let me know that you just finished the webinar. You want to get started. You want to get going with this, and I will send you over how to do that. And we'll get you hopefully 50 favorites by January 16th. So I really appreciate you joining today and taking the time to watch this webinar. Hopefully we can make it up to Jay County again in the future and we can meet you in person. But shoot me an email and we'll get you started on the calendar. And we're super excited for this to be something that can benefit your organization. So looking forward to hearing from you and helping this be a successful experience for you. So have a great rest of your day.